Welcome everyone to another video, and today we're going to take a look at a Pokemon which you least expect to see in the Ultra League, which is Primarina. And of course every single one of you be like, wait, why are you using Primarina when he hasn't even gotten its community move Hydro Cannon? Well, of course, based on what we've seen with Chespin, where it will get Frenzy Plant this year, Primarina will most probably get Hydro Cannon this year as well, right? However, it's still quite decent in the Ultra League Premier Classic Cup, even though it could be better with Hydro Cannon. Definitely, without a doubt, it'll be better if you have Hydro Cannon as opposed to Psychic, which means you are totally walled by Steel types in the meta. However, Primarina has some niche play in this cup, whereby you are able to hard wall the double flyer backline that some people use. Like if, for example, you see things like Gyarados and Dragonite at the back, Primarina fares very well against it. The reason why I'm using Waterfall instead of the Charm is because it has a better matchup against Charizard, which Trevenant does not like, and Aurorus also does not have that good of a matchup if we are down shields. And as you can see here, Dragonite swaps out into a Charizard and the opponent swaps immediately tops left and leaves the game. And the reason why Primarina is safe for those double flyer backlines is because Dragonite, after it got superpower last season, it has no play against fairy types whatsoever, because all of its moveset is at least single resisted. And of course Gyarados, all of its charge moves, whichever one you use, will be resisted by Primarina, whether it is the Water Gun, whether it is Dragon Breath, Waterfall, or even its charge move, Crunch, Outrage, Aqua Tail. All of it will be resisted, and therefore it has a very good play against the flyers, as well as you are able to take out the fighters, and in this case Obstagoon as well. Of course, if this opponent had used Obstagoon in the lead, it would have been a bit of an iffy matchup, but as you can see here, Primarina, even with the Waterfall damage, does scare the Obstagoon off, and they swap back into their Gyarados, whereby our Aurorus can just spam Weather Ball here. We do not need to go for Meteor Beam to take them out, because we need to grab their shields before we go down, because Primarina with Psychic and Moonblast, both of which requires at least 55 energy, will take quite a long time to get to. And so we do get to the second Weather Ball. It's either we will take Switch or we will take a shield advantage, both of which is good. And then here they do let it go. I thought we would have done a bit more, but it's okay. Aurorus will go down, we'll let it go, and then we will save a shield for Primarina, which will do a lot of damage to this Obstagoon. We do not care about what they throw, because this is way too fast for a gunk shot. And even if they do throw a gunk shot, we can safely shield it, and then they'll be scrambling to get to the next one before we take them out. And then here we just throw the Moonblast for good measure. If we can get the attack debuff, that would be really nice, make the matchup a lot safer than it is. And here, because they threw the charge move at a suboptimal timing, we are able to just farm them down while they are one turn away from a charge move, and then here we can just Waterfall the Gyarados down to take the win. And then as you can see, even in the first 3 battles of this video, we already had 2 top lefts, and then here in the 4th battle we have somewhat of a iffy lead here with Ampharos, because Ampharos now has a lot of options. It has Thunder Punch, of course, having Stab, which is good against Primarina, and then it has Brutal Swing for the Trevenant, and then it also has the Focus Blast for the Aurorus. So anything could happen with the Ampharos, and they swap into Snorlax while we counter swap into Aurorus. And here's the thing about Snorlax safe swaps, right, which I just don't get. Every time I throw Meteor Beam straight away, they will definitely shield, whereas if I were to try to bait with a Weather Ball, somehow they don't shield. It feels like they somehow know that what move I'm going to throw. I'm not saying that they have cameras, they are looking at me or whatever, but this just means that I will get taken out by a superpower just like this one, and I will have no play against the Ampharos later on. So I had the top left because of that. And going on to the next battle, and here we have a Trevenant against a Magnezone, a very good lead here, and then they safe swap into a Kingdra while we safe swap into our Primarina. And the reason being why we swap into our Primarina is because it has the same effect as if we were to go against Gyarados or Dragonite, whereby Primarina resists all of the moveset of Kingdra, and then here we can go for our Moonblast, hopefully taking it out even though we are attack debuffed. However, it is not enough, but it is enough for us to get an attack drop on the opponent, and we can just farm them down. Of course, they are able to get to a second charge move, and this will take us very low. However, if we had the most probably what you will get for the Community Day move of Hydro Cannon, we will have gotten a lot more damage here on the Magnezone. However, it is still fine. We can come back in with our Trevenant to take it out. Of course, they will have to throw multiple wild charges to take us out, and here we can see that Mirror Shot does barely anything, and then we can swap out our Aurorus to take out the Dragonite. It has a much better play against Dragonite because instead of dealing neutral damage from the Powder Snow and Weather Ball, it does double super effective damage to the Dragonite as opposed to the Kingdra, and that's another reason why we went to our Primarina instead of the Aurorus against the Kingdra. And here the opponent just quits after this because they know that they have no chance at all whatsoever. Going on to the next battle, we have here a Charizard, and they are using Dragon Breath Charizard. Of course, this is not what you want right now. Wing Attack is strictly better for the neutral matchup because you get to the charge moves faster as opposed to Dragon Breath. Of course, Dragon Breath will do a lot more damage. Maybe that is the gameplay there. And then they safe swap the Venusaur into our Aurorus, which is not a very good play because here we can just double up and to try to take them out of, it's either we take them out or we'll take both their shields, but it's okay, we will shield ourselves and then come out with loads of energy for whatever is going to come in, whether it is a Charizard or whether it's the third Pokemon. They come in with the Charizard again. We try to go for a bait here, hopefully to take their last shield so that we can throw a Meteor Beam now against them. This I feel is just a tad bit early for the Blast Burn, and it is. They throw a Dragon Claw and we do manage to take out the Charizard with this Meteor Beam, and bye bye. And we come back in with our Trevenant and they quit straight away. And going on to the next battle, we have a Shadow Swampert lead. This is the best lead that you want. And then they swap into a Shadow Snorlax here. And like I said earlier, somehow or another, they just do not shield the Weather Ball baits. I don't know. Like for whatever reason, they just do not shield. But I guess they know their gameplay against the Aurorus here better than the previous opponent, or maybe they both do. It's just that they both have different play styles of Aurorus players that they go against, which is very bad for me because then we do not know how to play this matchup. We could have gone against the Primarina, of course, but then again the Primarina would have been needed just in case if they had a Charizard at the back. And then here they come back in with the Swampert against us. We throw one Weather Ball, trying to make sure that the switch timer comes back up so that we can swap into our Trevenant. We tried to catch here, unfortunately we could not. And then here is where it gets very iffy because Dragonite does have a lot of play against our Aurorus, and we are very afraid of the potential Sludge Wave from the Shadow Swampert, which would have most probably could potentially one-shot our Primarina here. Could we get to the Shadow Ball against the Dragonite? We could, and let's see whether or not it takes it out. It is a normal Dragonite and it barely is able to take it out, and because of that, if it was a Shadow, we will most probably be able to take them out. And then we come back in here with the Swampert to come back in with the Primarina to soak up the energy from the Swampert, because they would not be able to get an Earthquake plus a Hydro Cannon in within 100 energy range, and therefore we are able to double up on the Aurorus to take them out before they are able to get to the Hydro Cannon, and we do win that game. So going into the next battle, we go against a Surfetch in the lead. Of course, Surfetch is a Swiss Army knife of a Pokemon. It has a very good coverage with Leaf Blade, Night Slash and Brave Bird. It can go any which way it wants to. And here they went for a Leaf Blade for whatever reason. Maybe they have Brave Bird but they do not want to show it, so they tried to pretend like they have Night Slash, which also does super effective against us. And then here they have an Ampharos at the back. Again, another awkward matchup here for us because they have something for every single one of our Pokemon here in our team. So we just try to let it go so that we can come back in with the Trevenant. And here they decided to just throw a return. I would have thought that maybe at worst it would have been a Thunder Punch, and then we could have just come back in knowing that most probably we'll have Focus Blast, but they just overkill us there with a return. And then here we let our Trevenant go and then farm down with our Aurorus. Let's see what they have in the back. Oh yeah, it was the Charizard, I believe. Yeah, so they just let it go knowing that they would most probably not be able to take us out because they will need double blast burns to do so, and I think we still have one more shield from that. And going into the very next opponent, it's taking a while. Golden Kiwi, here we have our Trevenant against a Machamp, another solid lead. We can win in the two shields, but they decided to swap out into the Walrein, and we immediately go for a Seed Bomb to soften it up and hopefully catch the Icicle Sphere on the Aurorus, but we did not manage to. But we can shield it and hopefully try and catch the next one here. I believe they are like 1 or 2 away, and then we immediately swap out to catch it. A beautiful catch on the Aurorus. It will be resisted and we can safely outpace them to a Meteor Beam, either getting a shield or ramping up our attack for the Machamp that will come back in, and most probably take a shield from them from there. And then here we managed to get the Weather Ball. Let's see whether or not we do get a shield from them, and we don't. I guess Machamp is a bit bulkier than I thought. And then here they did a fantastic catch on their Charizard, catching the Seed Bomb. And then but our switch timer is also coming back up, and then we can swap to our Primarina to just waterfall it all the way down. Of course, Primarina is quite bulky, and then it can take this Blast Burn. It does not even 50% against us, and then here we can just immediately go for a psychic to try to take their shield before taking them out. They have nothing else to do, and they go down with 2 shields left in play. And going into the next team, we have another Charizard lead, another Dragon Breath Charizard, which is weird. I'm not sure whether this is the same game, but it's okay. We can just go in and watch this game again. If it is a repeat, it's fine. And yeah, we shielded, we played like before. If it is a different game, which I find, and yeah, Primarina. And talking more about Primarina, it has a very good bulk. However, the fast move just does not do it justice whatsoever, because Waterfall and Charm is horribly energy generation, and it has a very good move pool that can take opponents by surprise, but somehow or another they just do not care about Primarina, I guess. Because even with Charm, it still would not have a good time to get to those Hydro Cannons, which as it is already cheap, 40 energy, right? And then of course you have, I think, yeah, this is the exact same game as before, so for whatever reason it's still in there. So going into the next battle, we have Trevenant against the Shadow Swampert. Is this another repeat? I'm not sure, or is it another repeat? Is very weird. Yeah, it's another repeat. So yeah, we can go up to the next battle. We have the Trevenant versus another Aggron as our first game. Here we played similarly. We tried to throw during their 7th Smackdown so that we only give them a 1 turn extra, which is fine, because we do not want them to get a whole fast move in. And then here again we shield it up because it will most probably take our Trevenant out, and then this time they do have the right rock type move in Meteor Beam, and then here we can just safely farm down, come out with 100 energy, and then safely swap into our Primarina against this Gliscor. And they brought in Sylveon, and you know what is going to happen here. Our Aurorus is going to town against the Gliscor, and because of that they will not have any chance whatsoever in this end game, because they did not farm enough for the Earthquake here. Of course, if you do like this video, just hit the like button and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. And then as we can see here, I hope I can get one more video out this weekend, because I will be out of town. And yeah, and let's see this Gliscor getting beat by the Aurorus here. And of course we just shield it just in case if they decided to go straight away for an Earthquake, which I don't think they will anyways. And then here we are able to take them out for the win. And that is it for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.